The noon sun beat down on the wide glass front of a luxury truck dealership just outside Dallas, Texas. Inside, polished floors gleamed beneath rows of brand-new Mercedes commercial trucks, their chrome grills shining like mirrors. Salesmen in crisp suits stood in small clusters, sipping coffee and talking numbers, when the front door creaked open. Heads turned. The man who walked in didn't belong, at least not by their standards. His jeans were faded and frayed at the hems, his brown jacket a size too big and clearly old. Dust clung to his boots like he'd walked a long way to get there. His hair was uncombed, touched with gray, and his face carried deep lines shaped by years of wind and work. A few quiet chuckles spread across the showroom. "Must be lost," one salesman muttered under his breath. The man paused near the entrance, looking slowly around at the trucks. His eyes weren't wide or greedy. They were focused, thoughtful, as if he were measuring every detail in his mind. He walked calmly toward the center of the showroom, running his fingers lightly along the side of a massive Mercedes Actros. Finally, a young salesman named Kevin stepped forward, forcing a polite smile. "Sir, can I help you?" he asked, already certain of the answer. "Yes," the man replied in an even, steady voice. "I'm interested in buying 5 Mercedes trucks." For a moment, there was silence. Then laughter broke out, soft at first, then louder. One salesman nearly choked on his coffee. The sales manager, Rick, raised an eyebrow, amused. "5, Rick repeated, crossing his arms. "You know these aren't cheap, right?" "I'm aware," the man said calmly. Rick glanced at Kevin and smirked. "Why don't you show him the used section out back?" "I want new," the man replied, meeting Rick's eyes without hesitation. 5 identical units. Long haul configuration. The laughter stopped, replaced by disbelief. Rick stepped closer, his tone sharpened with sarcasm. "Sir, these trucks cost more than most houses. We don't do window shopping here." The man didn't react. He didn't apologize or raise his voice. He simply nodded once and said, "Then bring me the specifications and the paperwork." Kevin hesitated. Rick let out an annoyed sigh but waved his hand. "Fine. Humor him," he said. As Kevin walked away, the ragged man stood quietly, hands clasped behind his back. He seemed completely unaffected by the whispers and stares. A few minutes later, Kevin returned with the brochures. "Would you like financing options?" Kevin asked, still doubtful. "No," the man replied. "I'll be paying in full." Rick laughed openly now. "Cash or fairy dust?" he joked to another salesman. The man turned toward Rick, his expression calm but firm. "I'd like a private room and a phone line," he said. "I need to make a call." Rick rolled his eyes but pointed toward a small office. 5 minutes, he said. "That's all." As the man walked into the office and closed the door behind him, something strange settled over the showroom. The laughter faded. No one spoke. Because for the first time, doubt crept in. The small office was quiet, the door closed tight behind the ragged man. Inside, he set his worn jacket carefully over the back of a chair and picked up the phone. His movements were slow, deliberate, nothing rushed, nothing uncertain. Outside the glass walls of the office, the sales staff watched, pretending not to stare while clearly doing exactly that. Rick leaned against a truck, arms folded. 5 minutes, he said again, tapping his watch. "Then we're done playing games." Inside the office, the man spoke softly into the phone. He gave a name, a reference number, and a few precise instructions. No raised voice, no explanations. When the call ended, he simply sat back and waited. 2 minutes passed, then 3. At the front of the dealership, the glass doors slid open once more. This time, no one laughed. A man in a sharp navy suit walked in, briefcase in hand. His shoes were spotless, his posture confident. He scanned the room, then his eyes locked onto the office. "Good afternoon," he said firmly. "I'm here to see Mr. Harrison." Rick straightened immediately. May I ask who you are?" he said. The suited man didn't smile. "James Carter, Senior Account Manager, Lone Star National Bank." A ripple of tension spread across the showroom. James walked straight past Rick, knocked once on the office door, and stepped inside. When he emerged moments later, his tone had changed completely. "Good to see you again, sir," he said respectfully. The word "sir" echoed louder than any laughter earlier. Rick's face lost its color. The ragged man, Mr. Harrison, walked out of the office, jacket still folded over his arm. James opened his briefcase and handed Rick a stack of documents. "These funds have already been verified," James said. "Payment in full for 5 Mercedes Actros trucks. Immediate transfer." Rick flipped through the papers with shaking hands. The numbers made his stomach drop. This wasn't a joke. This wasn't a lesson. This was real. I had no idea," Rick stammered. "Mr. Harrison finally spoke again, his voice calm but clear. "I didn't come here to be entertained," he said. "I came here to buy." Kevin stood frozen, eyes wide. "Mr. Harrison," he said quietly, I'm sorry, sir." Mr. Harrison looked at Kevin for a moment, then nodded. "You did your job," he said. "That matters." He turned to Rick. 5 trucks. Same configuration. Delivery within 30 days. Yes, of course," Rick said quickly. "We'll make sure you get our best service." Mr. Harrison signed the final page, then slid the pen back across the desk. As he prepared to leave, he paused and looked around the showroom one last time. "I started with 1 truck," he said calmly. "I slept in it, built a business slowly. Money doesn't always dress the way you expect." No one spoke. He walked out, followed by the banker, leaving behind a silent showroom, and a lesson that would linger far longer than the echo of laughter. The showroom stayed silent long after Mr. Harrison's footsteps disappeared beyond the glass doors. Outside, the low hum of traffic from the highway felt distant, almost unreal. Inside, the sales team stood still, surrounded by polished trucks that suddenly seemed less impressive than before. Rick was the first to move. He slowly sank into a chair, rubbing his forehead as if trying to erase the last hour. The confidence he usually carried, the sharp jokes, the quick judgments, was gone. "I messed up," he muttered. No one argued. Kevin remained near the desk where the contract had been signed. The ink was barely dry, yet it felt like that piece of paper held the weight of a lifetime lesson. He replayed every moment in his head. The laughter, the looks, the careless words. He realized how easily respect had been replaced with arrogance. Later that afternoon, an email arrived from Mercedes Corporate. The 5-truck deal had already been flagged as a high-value account, with potential for future expansion. A note at the bottom caught Rick's attention. "Client is expanding rapidly. Possible fleet order of 20+ units next quarter." Rick's chest tightened. That evening, as the showroom lights dimmed, Kevin stepped into Rick's office. "He treated me with more respect than we gave him," Kevin said quietly. "Even after everything." Rick nodded slowly. "I saw it," he replied. "And if we lose future business from him, we'll deserve it." But fate had one more turn left. 2 weeks later, a familiar dusty pickup rolled into the dealership lot. Heads snapped toward the windows. Mr. Harrison stepped out, dressed the same as before, simple jacket, worn boots, calm expression. This time, no one laughed. Rick rushed forward, opening the door himself. "Mr. Harrison," he said, his voice sincere, "welcome back." Mr. Harrison studied him for a moment. "I'm here about delivery schedules," he said. "And maybe another order." Rick swallowed. "Whatever you need, sir." As they walked through the showroom, Mr. Harrison stopped near Kevin. "You handled yourself well," he said. "I remember that." Kevin felt his face warm. "Thank you, sir." The meeting lasted an hour. Specifications were discussed, routes planned, contracts reviewed. When it ended, it was clear, Mr. Harrison's logistics company was growing faster than anyone had realized. Before leaving, Mr. Harrison turned to the staff gathered nearby. "Success doesn't announce itself," he said calmly. "It arrives quietly. Treat it with respect." After he left, Rick called a team meeting. "From today on," he said firmly, "every customer gets the same respect, no matter how they walk through that door." Months later, the dealership would remember that Ragged Man not as a joke, but as the client who changed everything.